Hey, hey, hey. 29. Hi all, Jason Puckhead Diebold here, and it's time for another edition of Drive Time University. How you doing today, everybody? I feel good. I feel like, who's that? Karen in chest, shoulders, triceps, back and biceps, yeah. Where she's like, I feel good. I'm doing corn cobs. The first thing I want to talk about today is PSI Seminars. Okay, let me phrase it this way. Hey, what if a millionaire came to you and said, I have all the secrets. Let me tell you about the first thing I did that has led for me becoming whatever success that I have in my life. It's a $500 value, $600 value, and I want to give it to you for free. Would you be interested? Because that's literally the opportunity with PSI Seminars. If you're part of the Fit Union, 5 levels deep, coming up, not this weekend, but next weekend, February 19th. I think it's next weekend, maybe it's 2 weeks. In Cleveland, Ohio. Literally, all the successful people that have done this, Monica Ward, Dave Ward, Hope Fato, Nick Hussein. There's a ton more. I'm just thinking which people are beachfronting, which people are side. Oh, Decker, yeah, Barbie Kalev. Mrs. Kalev. All of us have done this and started with this. I said before in the previous video, would I have been successful without this training? Yeah, probably. Would I have had this magnitude of success? Definitely not. And it's helped every facet of my life. When people talk about success, I think ultimately it's about happiness, because you can definitely have career success or financial success or health success and be miserable. In fact, I would say 75% of the population is walking around with a high degree of depression. Depression is when your expectations aren't equal to your realities. And the gap in between these two hands is called depression. So I think there's a lot of people that have huge success in some few areas of their lives, but are super depressed because their relationship sucks, or they've got bad health diagnosis, or there's not enough money, or there's no stability in career, or they don't have any sort of spiritual connection in their life. So for me, success I define as balance. And I think the easiest scenario is to break that down to 4 different categories in your life. You've got health, you've got career, you've got relationships, and you've got spiritual. That's the very 4 basic. I can break it out to 10 if you want, and that's probably better. But let's just start with the 4. So what I want you to do is go through and rate yourself a scale of 1 to 10 in each of those areas of your life. And be honest with yourself, because I'm not checking it out. This is only for you. But so I'll never ask anybody to do anything that I'm not willing to do myself. So in career, I'm passing. I'm a B-. I tend to judge myself hard, so I'd say I'm a C. And when I say C, I just relate it back to scores, like in grade school. 1 through 100. If you got a 70%, that's a C. If I'm a B-, I'm a low 80. So I would say 7.5 out of 10 in career. It's probably crazy, right? Everybody's like, you're hugely successful. Yeah, but there's so much more I want to achieve. Health, right now, I'm loving it. I'm an A, so I'm giving myself a 9 there. Relationships, I am so super happy with my relationship, but I'm scared to mess it up, so I'd say 9. And spiritual, I feel I have a good spiritual connection. I'm not really in my weekly and daily habits that I like to be, so I'd say I'm passing there. I'm gonna rate that lower, 7. So I'm just going off the top of my head. It was 8.5997. So the one area in my life where maybe some depression exists is that if my expectation of spiritual is higher than passing grade, then that might manifest itself as a little bit of depression. But I think happiness comes when you have a balance and a harmony between all these areas of your life. So if you're a 10, 5, 5, 1, you're probably not going to be super happy, even though you might be super successful in one area of your life. So I would rather that you're 5s everywhere, and then you move the 5s to 6s, and the 6s to 7s, and the 7s to 8. And it's never perfect. Nobody's ever going to say, I'm 10, 10, 10 to 10. And if you are, awesome. And just, keep stretching to maintain it, because life doesn't stop at, awesomeness. It's about maintenance and always working on the things that are valuable to you. So what I want to say is, when I went through PSI seminars the first time, that was like the eye-opener, because I had good health, I had a decent career, but my relationships were messy, I had no spiritual connection whatsoever, and I was always walking around frazzled or depressed or whatever. This is the thing that put those things into perspective for me. So we're always sitting there inside our own heads, which is really our conscious mind judging ourselves. But really, if we can get into the unconscious, that's what actually carries out the ideas that we have in our head. And there's this external perspective of us that might not have anything to do with the things that are going on in your head. That's what PSI does. PSI explains the relationship of your conscious mind to your subconscious mind. My conscious mind says, dude, I want to be fit. And my conscious mind is like, and my unconscious mind is like, yeah, but you keep choosing M&Ms. You like to have a beer every now and again. How about some French fries? So like, what ends up happening is even my unconscious mind will override my subconscious mind when it sees those things that it likes. So if you can tap into the natural resource, which is your unconscious mind, and say, you know what, we have new values for health. Like, and this is just a crazy example, but let's say every day I work out, and I've created this rule in my subconscious. Every day I work out, what I'm saying is that I'm enjoying life and I want to live longer. Every day I don't work out, I'm saying, you know what, I've had enough of this life and I'm just ready to move on. Right? If your face doesn't do this when you hear that, like, then, you've got a different value system than me, which is fine. But, so now when I'm like, don't really feel like working out, I'm like, dude, you saying you're done with life? You don't want to live? I'm like, okay, well, maybe I could do 10-minute training. And so that's just one of these things. PSI Seminars sits there and basically gives you an open window to look into your subconscious by just the way you're behaving, the way you've been acting all your life. And so it's just this huge, incredible opportunity. So I'm willing to give that $600 value for free for anybody that wants to come on and experience it. This is not a recruiting tool. Consider it more like, how you say? Honey, what you say? More like a team retreat. If you're part of my team, they go buy a hotel room somewhere, or they a hotel lobby, they go rent out a $10,000 a week place, like, yeah, that's fine, you can do that, that's awesome. I'm going to spend less than that, and I'm going to give you what I feel is the best training to set you on track for success in all areas of your life. So that's what I'm offering here. Now, what I'm a little frustrated with is there's a lot of people that showed interest. Boom, 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 want to go. And then they go and they look up a flight. And they're like, oh, well, the flight's $400. Yeah. It's $100 a night for the hotel room. You're going to have to eat during this as well. And although I could afford a lot of that stuff, I'm not paying for any of it, because I just know that when I'm given something, it's like, here, try this free sample, I throw it away, right? Or if somebody's like, hey, you really gotta read this book, and they hand it to me, I don't read it. Because I have no investment in the game. So I'm asking you to make that investment in the game if you want the successes that you desire in your life. And if you see any of that true in my life, then this is what I did. One of my favorite analogies is so there's this man who wants to be successful, and there's this millionaire mentor, and they meet up, and he's like, hey, I'd love to be successful, anything you want to show me. He's like, that'd be awesome. He's like, all right, meet me at the beach tomorrow. The guy meets him at the beach, and the millionaire tells him to walk out in the water, and the guy walks out, turns around, he's like, keep going. And so the guy gets all the way out to, he barely can keep his head above the water, right? And just some water splashing in his face and his mouth. He's like, what? And the guy's like, keep going. He's like, what? That makes no sense. So he goes in a little deeper, and at this point, his head is under the water. The millionaire comes up and he pushes his body under the water harder. So now this guy's fighting to get air, like he's fighting to stay alive at this point. He's like scratching the eyeballs of the millionaire, anything that can get him out. So finally, when it feels like he's just about to give up and he actually lessens his fight, the millionaire lets him go and actually brings him up. And he brings him back to shore. He's like, the guy's like, what the hell was that? I thought you were here to train me how to become a millionaire. He's like, the number one thing I can train you is when you want to succeed as much as you want to breathe, you will become a success. I'm getting chills. And I know that story. But that's the truth. It's like, you need to change the mindsets associated with success in your life. You know, as you grow up, you've got all these people, and hopefully you had great support system that says, Jason, you can go be anything you want to be. Jason, like, you know, you're enough just in you. You don't ever have to seek approval from somebody else. Unless you had some of those great influences in your life like I did, but I've also had some bad influences. Like somebody said, oh, this business won't work for you. This is some sort of a scam. Nobody succeeds at that stuff. You'll never be a professional hockey player, right? Well, that's one that worked, right? That's sunk into my head. Unless you've sat down and looked at these phrases and settings and rules and programs that you've made in your subconscious, and then given yourself an opportunity to reinvent them. Your subconscious works like a computer. It develops these programs over time. And that's why when somebody says, hey, try this diet, you automatically said, no, I don't do diets. Right? You're not using your conscious mind at that point. That's an unconscious program. This ties into the last video. The last video was the one thing that's consistent in all your problems in life and all your relationships and all your jobs is you. You are the only thing that's consistent for everything else in your life. And the truth is that your results are based upon your actions. You know, so somebody says, Jason, you know, like what rank do you want to be within Team Beachbody? I'll be like, I want to be a 15-star. Well, no, based upon, the only way to measure anything is based upon results. So based upon my results, I want to be a lifetime 9-star and then float somewhere below that. Based upon results, that's really what I want, because your desires are played out in your results. And the only thing that's consistent in your results is you. So I don't want to drive this home. I'm not trying to make anybody feel bad, but if any of this stirs your soul a little bit, if this feels uncomfortable, these are the reasons. So I'm not going to get into it any longer. This is already a long video. What I want to say in summary is, you know, how do you define millionaire? Like, do I have $1 million in the bank? Or do I have $1 million in savings? Have I earned $1 million from one business? Am I earning $1 million per year? No, yes, no. And if you ask me for my advice, I'd say go to this class. And I'm willing to pay for it for anybody that's working on this common goal with me, which is helping other people improve their lives through health and fitness and finances, if you're interested in the business opportunity. So if you're seeking my advice, that's it. But somebody else is like, oh, I'm just swamped right now with XYZ. And I'm like, that's awesome. And if XYZ is a priority, do XYZ. But what I'm going to say is a weekend invested in this class will improve A through Z. And if you're struggling in XYZ, it's because you've got these underlying issues, you know, and I'm not trying to say that. I'm not trying to point fingers. I'm not saying there's a problem in you. And there is no problem in you unless you're not getting the results that you say you want. There's no way for me to ever judge your performance except based upon the results compared to your own expectations. So if you ask me how to improve any of that stuff, it would be this. I'm willing to offer it free to anybody on my team. I was talking about ATV, which means you're 5 levels deep if you're not a Beachbody coach that understands that term. And if you're 6 levels deep, talk to me. You know, somebody else was talking about we don't offer things to the orphans on our team that we've helped. Well, my response to that is, if you adopt a child, do you take him on vacation? And they're like, well, duh, yeah. And I'm like, that's kind of what you're saying. You're saying you adopted this person who was an orphan, and now you're not going to take him on vacation? Either stop using the term adopted and orphan because you're not being true to those words, or do what you would do to somebody that you truly adopted. So if I've adopted you and you're 6 levels deep, write me, we'll work it out. Now I understand this is in Cleveland, Ohio, which is not necessarily convenient for all people. I understand this is short notice, but when opportunity knocks, you have to answer the door, or they go to the next door. And the reason that I'm choosing this event is this is one of the first events in the Midwest, and I have a huge Midwest team of thousands of people that I love and I truly appreciate. And this is the first time that it's ever been in driving distance for them. Will it be around again? Yeah. You know, I think typically if it works out in this city, which is not proven to work out yet in this city, they have them every 8 months or so. So, you know, if you can wait 8 months to start getting improvements in your life, do that. Will I be offering it for free? I don't know. I'm offering this one for free because I'm going to go there and I'm going to be part of it. And it's going to be a little bit like a team event. Like, we're going to share ideas. We're going to share experiences. Like, the number of people that have done this in my life, Chris Reed is another one. Like, we have conversations afterwards. It's like, wow, like, this is a thing I've always struggled with and I never knew how or why. And in this weekend, like, you've opened my eyes to the bigger picture. So, I mean, if you want to have those conversations with your peers and other folks, then it makes sense to go. Somebody else just the other day said, you are the sum of the 5 people that you hang out with the most. Birds of a feather flock together, so who are you flocking with? You know, if I look at any instance in my life, and I'm just gonna relate success back to income now, my income was the average of the 5 people I was spending the most time with. It's always been true. I'm a little scared right now because the 5 people that I'm hanging out with the most all are doing very well. So there's only one way for me to go right now. And this is a supposed millionaire inviting you to be closer to their circle. Throw me into your average and see what happens in your life.